Welcome back to This Week in Film. It's week 10 of the big show, the world's most influential movie podcast on the internet. I'm Nick Fanunto, joined as... Oh, wait. Charlie's not here this week, and neither's Tony or Keith.
That's right.
Oh, it's Ray Radominki.
Hey!
Hi, Ray. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. So diving right in. Ray, what'd you see this week?
I saw Steve Jobs, the Danny Boyle directed, Aaron Sorkin written film about Steve Jobs.
And this isn't the one with...
Not to be confused with the Ashton Kutcher, just called Jobs.
Let's do something better.
Which I also did see.
Which one's better?
I would say this one was better. Steve Jobs was better.
That wasn't an oversight.
They know that. Get your shit and get out. You're done.
You have to really like Aaron Sorkin, though. Because this is full-fledged Aaron Sorkin, walk and talks every 10 minutes.
Rapid fire
dialogue.
3 spots in the Super Bowl. 2 30s and a 60. And after we screened it, the board wanted that money back, and they asked me to sell off the spots.
And just, that's pretty much it. That's the whole movie. The movie takes place before 3 separate product launches.
It's like 5 minutes before every launch. Everyone goes to a bar, gets drunk, and tells me what they really think.
So the first part is him getting ready for the launch of the original Macintosh.
You're not hearing me. It's not going to say...
Fix it.
Fix it?
Yeah.
The one that had the big commercial with it in 1984. Mm-hmm. The second part is him getting ready to launch his Next computer, the company that he went to after he left Apple, called Next. I forget what the name of the computer was called.
The cube, because God forbid the angles be 90.1 instead of 90.
I forbid the angles to be 90.1 instead of 90. That box could be on display at the Guggenheim.
And then the last one is him getting ready to launch the iMac.
That was cool. Why did I like that better than I usually do?
I don't know.
Each different part is him just basically backstage, getting ready to do his keynote speeches, and basically the same people show up in each different part, and how he interacts with those people in like different stages of his life. Michael Fassbender plays Steve Jobs. I thought he did a pretty good job. He doesn't look like him as much as Ashton Kutcher did, but he's definitely a way better actor than Ashton Kutcher is.
Right.
I already fired you!
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job. I feel like I mean, I don't really know Steve Jobs that well, but it seemed like he encapsulated his personality.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna announce the names of everyone who designed the launch demo.
Kate Winslet does a really good job. She's plays
in that movie?
She plays Joanna Hoffman.
You remember Joanna Hoffman? She's the head of marketing for the Mac.
And she's kind of like, she's half Polish, so she has kind of like a Polish accent, not full accent, but like...
We've met before, and you told me you liked the way I talked, and that was my favorite thing anyone's ever said to me.
Halfway through the movie, I was like, does she have like an accent?
Bring me the face of Steve Wozniak.
Steve Wozniak is played by Seth Rogen.
What do you do?
Right.
Who I kind of thought was miscast a little bit. He looks like him. Like,
right.
You look him up, he looks like him. But I don't know, Seth Rogen's just hard to cast as anybody but like a stoner.
Right.
Do you understand how condescending that just was?
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
He doesn't really...
It's hard to disconnect him
Right.
from that.
You've never had any respect for me. Now why is that?
And then Jeff Daniels does a good job, too. He plays John Scully, who is the CEO of Apple for the first 2 periods. He was the former CEO of Pepsi.
We showed a lot of happy people drinking Pepsi. We didn't say the world was going to end if you bought a Dr. Pepper.
Like Steve Jobs, like personally picks to come on and be the CEO of Apple.
John's the CEO of Pepsi, but I'm trying to get him to move to Cupertino. Put a dent in the universe.
And then he eventually actually ends up kicking him out of Apple.
I'm perfectly willing to hand in my resignation tonight, but if you want me to stay, you can't have Steve.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Steve Jobs like wants him to come along. He's his confidant for a while. They get along well for a while.
I'm proud of you.
And then once the Macintosh gets launched, it didn't do well.
Shareholders are my problem, and the board represents the shareholders. That's how it works.
After
Really?
that commercial. No.
Huh.
So that ends up being the downfall of his first stint at Apple. John Scully gets the board to like vote him out. Then he goes to Next, which is the second part of the movie. He designs his Next computer, which ends up also being kind of a failure too.
Right.
And then ends with the iMac, which basically relaunched
yeah.
Apple.
We're gonna sell 1 million units in the first 90 days.
So it was good. Like I said, it's a lot of talking, not much happens, but it was good. It was a good movie. I liked it.
Totally worth watching.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. I watched the movie Top Gun, directed by Tony Scott and starring Tom Cruise.
Talk to me, Goose.
I mean, just a classic.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
Great soundtrack.
It's a shame Kenny Loggins and Tangerine Dream never teamed up to just own all of the 80s. If you haven't seen Top Gun, it's about the best of the best fighter pilot school in California. Tom Cruise and Anthony Edwards,
Maverick and Goose,
get sent there to learn more about being a pilot.
I'd like to bust your butt, but I can't. I got another problem here. You two characters are going to Top Gun.
I never understood who they were fighting.
It's not clear. It is not clear at all. It just
says
says
the bogies, right?
Yeah, the MiGs.
There's 090 for bogey.
But the implication is that they're in the Indian Ocean. That's where all the conflict happens.
But they're in a school too, so like they're just sending these students out.
Well, they're training. They're going up against their professor or their instructors. So at the school, they're fighting each other, and it's like they're play fighting.
Defense Department regrets to inform you that your sons are dead because they were stupid.
Why does this movie exist? It just doesn't. It doesn't really. I mean, the movie is really just an hour and a half, 2 hour long commercial for the Navy, but even that isn't a very good commercial because you got pilots who are like falling apart mentally and emotionally.
I'm holding on too tight. I've lost the edge. I'm sorry, sir.
You've got people dying left and right.
Break left! I'm hit!
But
I want somebody's butt! I want it now!
Get your butts out of that flight gear.
I want some butts!
It's the whole movie takes place at this school and they're learning and then immediately go into conflict.
Some of you have to depart immediately. We have a crisis situation.
Right.
Like there's a war about to break out, so we got to send Val Kilmer, who's Iceman.
That's right. Ice, man. I am dangerous.
Right.
And Val Kilmer needs help.
3 MiGs dead ahead, coming down the left side.
So they got to send Maverick out to get him.
Maverick supersonic. I'll be there in 30 seconds.
And it's just the whole third act of the movie just seems jammed in there. Like, well, we got to have him fight somebody. It doesn't.
Tensions are high. If you witness a hostile act, you will return fire.
But it's fantastic.
And
at the same time.
it doesn't make any sense, and it works so well. You're just watching it like, this is so dumb, but I'm not turning it off.
Gentlemen, this is the real thing. This is what you've been trained for.
Yeah, and I think it launched a couple careers too, right? Or Tom Cruise was kind of already famous.
Tom Cruise was rising up real quick, but Tom Cruise wasn't their first pick. I was looking at the IMDb page for this, and here's everyone that turned down the role of
so
Maverick.
There's more than one person.
Oh, yeah. Matthew Modine, Patrick Swayze, Emilio Estevez, Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, Matthew Broderick, Sean Penn, Michael J. Fox, Scott Baio, and Tom Hanks in the role of Maverick.
I could see Patrick Swayze.
Swayze
totally would work.
Swayze
Emilio Estevez kind of would work, but he
yeah.
just doesn't have a personality, so I don't really know.
I wish there were 10 different versions of Top Gun that you could watch. I feel like we've been robbed of something. Kelly McGillis is in the movie.
Oh, yeah,
she plays
the
love interest. She looks great in this one scene, and then all of a sudden she pulls out these old lady glasses from like 1980. She just puts these glasses on. You're like, what is happening? Why are you wearing these? Why are you wearing these glasses? You look so bad in them. And then I also read this on IMDb. There's the scene where they're on the elevator together, where Tom Cruise looks like he just left the gym, and he's like wearing the tank top, and they get on the elevator, and they're like, hey, remember when we almost made out? And she's like, yeah, but she's wearing this ridiculous hat. And apparently the reason for that is that shot was added in way late. And she had already moved on to a different project and had to come back. So her hair is way longer and a different color. So it's totally tied up, and she's wearing this oversized hat. But while you're watching the scene, you're like, why is she wearing that stupid hat?
Right.
But that's why.
There had to be a reason.
That brings us to a brand new and completely original segment called Ray's Random Request. Ray, what's your triple R for this week?
What's your favorite Val Kilmer movie?
Oh, that's a good one. And last week's brand new segment, Keith's Kooky Query, we had a lot of responses from all over social media. Oh, and the question was, what is your favorite Alien movie? Oh. Jackie says, The Thing. Dan says, Batteries Not Included. Jill says, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Tom says, Mom and Dad Saved the World or Flight of the Navigator. And Chibi Foss says, Batteries Not Included and The Last Starfighter. So thanks for responding. Can you tell us where they can find us?
We can be found on SoundCloud, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Twitter, and of course, www.thisweekinfilmpodcast.com.
If you guys have time, please rate, review, subscribe to all those. It would be great. This was week 10, and thanks for listening.
Yep, see you guys.
Bye.
Maverick, get down here and get this asshole off me.
We've had enough fun for one day, don't you think? I'll take you all the way in.
Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash.
This gives me a hard on.
By the end of Vietnam,
Don't tease me.
remember when it's over out there.
You live your life between your legs, man. Well, the list is long but distinguished.
Yeah, well, so's my Johnson.
You have to have carnal knowledge of a lady this time.
Yo, coming hard.
Still awake?
Yeah.
It's time for the big one.
How you doing?
They must be close. I'm getting a hard on. Gonna do what?
Top Gun?
Yes, sir.
God help us.